I'm Nathan, welcome to the Armory. Today we're going to talk about what is killing Americans. What are we murdering each other with? Now all the data here is from the FBI's website. It's off Table 20 of the 2011 statistics. And on Table 20 of 2011 it tells you about all the murders and what was used in the United States in 2011. Now we're looking at 2011 because 2012 data isn't out and I didn't have the time or energy to go back and look over a course of a bunch of years, but 2011 is probably a fair representation of what's going on currently today. All right, so there were 12,664 people murdered last year. Of those, 6,220 were murdered with handguns. 1,694 were killed with knives or other cutting implements. 1,684 were killed by some type of firearm that was not determined by the investigators. 1,659 were killed with other weapons such as clubs, cars, candlesticks, wrenches, things from the game Clue, I guess. And then 728 people were killed with hands and feet, so they were karate chopped and ninja to death, I suppose. 356 were killed by shotguns, and 323 were killed with rifles. Of the 323 that were killed with rifles, some of those rifles were bolt action, some were single shot, and some were what we call the dreaded assault rifle, the semi-automatic rifle. So we're really looking at today in our national media, they're really going after the assault rifle hard. It's an evil, mean thing. But if you just looked at just rifles in general, they're only used in 2.55% of the murders last year. That's very tiny. It's very tiny. Handguns are, half of the murders were done with handguns. And then the rest, other random things like sharp knives and feet and cars and clubs and things like that. And by far the firearms do win out on what's being used to kill us as a nation. But the rifles are the lowest one out of all of them. So why is the focus on the smallest percentage? And my best guess is it's the great white effect. Whenever the movie Jaws came out, people were scared to death to go swimming because they watched the movie Jaws and were afraid great whites were going to eat them. But in reality, the number of great white attacks that occur every year are very, very small. 1, 2, 3 people in the entire world, maybe 5 on a bad year. Grizzly bears, they eat on average 1 person a year, so there are some years where no one gets eaten and some years where 2 or 3 get eaten, and then a year or 2 goes by and no one gets eaten by a grizzly bear. But we're all scared of sharks and we're all scared of grizzly bears. The actual odds of getting attacked by a shark or grizzly bear are so insignificantly tiny. We should be much more worried about just getting in our cars and driving to work in the morning. That's far more dangerous. So, again, whenever people talk about, hey, we need to take away assault rifles, they're too dangerous, they're used to kill all these people. No, they're not. The facts are that they're used in very, very few crimes and very few murders. Again, the handguns are what the criminals are carrying and using mainly, and there are a few isolated incidents, which in fact, with 6,220 handgun murders a year, which you never hear about, but you hear about the one time an assault rifle is used, that's a joke. They always are looking at things that are out of the ordinary. They could care less about the people who die every day from gang-on-gang violence with handguns, the drug dealers that shoot other drug dealers. They don't care about that. They care about the one person who picks up an assault rifle and goes in and does harm to a bunch of people, and they make a big news story out of it because there's a body count. The Clackamas, Oregon shooting, he only killed 2 people with an assault rifle before a concealed carrier pointed his gun and then he took his own life. Why is that not in the news? Because it goes against the narrative they want to portray. They want to portray a false sense. They want the great white story. So go and research this stuff yourself. Again, go to the FBI website, go to the Center for Disease Control. You can look up all this information yourself and find out what they're not telling you. I mean, they are pretty much just taking the statistics they want and making lies up as they go on both sides, for and against gun control, and they're not telling you what's really going on, because if you were educated and knew, you wouldn't put up with what they were trying to force feed you. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and God bless America and long live the Republic.